Good morning.
Good morning.
I was struck by how often as we went around the room, family was the focus, and certainly Thanksgiving, that makes that easier. But for me, this is an important opportunity at Toastmasters to try to mitigate what for me is truly undoable, and that would be to speak a eulogy at my mother's funeral. I have prepared some relatively technical pieces of information in my speech, and so if I go too fast or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Eva Margaret Muchler was born on January 26, 1920. She died on March 1st, 2016, or June 10th, 2018. Or perhaps like the original Energizer bunny of our family, she'll live to be 110. When mom dies is not important. Yeah, would like to keep her with us forever, but when mom dies is not the fundamental part of what I want to talk about. How she lived was pretty cool. She was orphaned at a young age and was handed off to drunken members of my extended family who abused her. She walked out the door, went to another town, knocked on the door of a woman's orphanage, and was taken in by the headmistress, who actually put her in her own home and taught her to cook and to clean and restored her. 3 years later, having learned how to cook and clean and stand tall, mom left, and shortly thereafter married my father. And they were poor as church mice. They lived on love, hard work, and not much money. They lived a life of misadventures, and ultimately, like many of the greatest generation, they created their own success. I suspected that my parents were gypsies because they loved to travel. We went to Cuba over Christmas vacation when I was in second grade during the Communist Revolution. We saw Europe after World War II on a shoestring. Alaska, Mexico, the Panama Canal, road trips, fishing trips, they did it all. And along the way, mom gave birth to my older brother, an ill-tempered brute, and her only perfect child. The when and the what, again, are not so important. The how was that she lived for her family. She loved and encouraged and nurtured us and celebrated our accomplishments. She cleaned off our scrapes of life, both physical and emotional, and sent us back into the fray. She taught us to stand tall. I came to realize as I went through my life and went over a few of life's fences that perhaps the when, the what, and the how was not the most important question. Maybe the most important question for me was why. When Dad died, Mom died too. For the next year, I was pretty certain that we'd bury her along with him. But then, she scraped off enough of her grief to come back and join us in life. Like a mission she took on, taking her grandchildren on trips, just with her. And she stretched their world and made them into great kids. Celebrated their accomplishments and their many missteps, She comforted them, but didn't coddle them. And she made them stand tall. It was a real question for me of why. And I asked her, and she said that the reason that she was able to re-engage in life was because she thought it was her assignment to honor her husband and her family. I've come to realize that the fun, the adventure of life were not the greatest lessons that Mom taught me. Her greatest accomplishment was to teach me why I live. She truly had great courage. She was tremendously generous. She was full of love. But at the end of the day, she taught me to stand tall. When, what, how, why. Thank you very much.